In the next couple of videos, I'm going to take you through the concept of comprehension, and we're going to cover two examples using list comprehension and dictionary comprehension. So what is list comprehension? Well, it can be seen as an elegant way to be able to create a list of items based on an expression and a for loop. Now, when we see the syntax shortly, you will see that it's much cleaner than a standard loop. But it's not everyone's favourite approach, as it can sometimes be confusing to read, and some people prefer the extra couple of lines of code by using a for loop instead, but you can make that decision yourself. So a list comprehension consists of an expression followed by a for statement inside square brackets. So let's see an example. So let's first of all create a list of even numbers from 0 to 20 simply using a for loop. So the way we could go about doing this is first of all creating a variable called evens and then set this equal to an empty list so we can put square brackets. We can then put a for loop, so we'd put something like for x in range and we'll simply pass 11 into brackets. We'll then put the colon and then we can put evens.append, which is utilizing the append method on our evens list object, and inside the append method's parentheses we can put x multiplied by 2. When we then print evens, you can see that we get 0 all the way through to 20 in increments of 2. So we haven't used list comprehension here, but you can see over 3 lines we can get the result requested. But let's now produce the same result using list comprehension. So the way we can perform this is by first of all creating a variable which will store our list object. So we can put evens and then we can put the assignment operator, so equals. We can then open a set of square brackets. Now inside these square brackets we can start with our expression. So you can see that we placed our expression inside the append method's parentheses in the example above. So inside brackets, I can put x multiplied by 2. I can then follow this expression with a for statement. So I could then put space for x in range and then pass 11 into parentheses. Now this may look confusing, but all we're saying here is for each item that we iterate through within this range object, apply the expression x multiplied by 2. When we run this and then take a look at what's stored in the evens variable, you can see we get 0 to 20 in increments of 2. So a lot cleaner syntax to arrive at the same result. Now a list comprehension can optionally contain more for or if statements if we want it to. So an optional if statement can filter out items from the new list if we so desire. So let's see an example. Let's suppose we now want to create this list, but this time we want the list to be produced excluding numbers that are divisible by 6. So we can start by putting evens as our variable name and then putting the assignment operator. We can then open a set of square brackets, and for this example I can start with the same syntax we wrote above. So I can put x multiplied by 2 as our expression, and then I can put for x in range 11. Now because we don't want to see numbers divisible by 6 in this list, we can now put an if statement. So I can put space if, and then I can put x multiplied by 2 modulo 6 does not equal 0. In other words, if x times 2 divided by 6 leaves a remainder of 0, then don't include that number in the list. When we now take a look to see what's inside evens, you can see we get 2, 4, we miss out 6, we then bring back 8 and 10, we miss out 12, we bring back 14, 16, and we miss out 18. So those numbers that are divisible by 6 are not included in our list. So you can use list comprehension as a more elegant way of creating a list by utilizing an expression and a for loop. You can also include an if statement inside to add further control over what you want to include in your list.